Hi, I'm Stargate Pioneer.
And I'm Steven Jondrew, and we're from Better Podcasting, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network.
Just like the show you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of the individual host.
Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
And get ready, because geekiness begins in 3,
2,
1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 546 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Recording this live on Sunday, January 7th, 2024. Yes, we are back for our first official show of the new year after we helped rein in the new year on New Year's Eve last week. Sadly, we are not here with the full crew. My name is Chris. I am joined with one of the usual band of misfits, Mr. Willie D. Nelson. He's muted, by the way.
Because I'm doing something. Always with this timing shit. Like, I ain't got no timing.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm quite aware.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, see, there we go. There's that timing thing again right there. I mean, it'll probably get edited out because it was an awkward pause, and I don't like those. But yeah, it'll probably...
Awkward? It wasn't awkward. It was a pregnant pause. Celebrate life.
Willie, I'm happy to say that we're now streaming live on South Porky's channel.
Maybe that's what I was doing.
I know. I saw it pop up on screen. Thank you, Willie. Thank you for the cross promotion. I appreciate it.
I'm just some dude. I need no thanks.
It's true. V says, Happy New Year, by the way, fellas. Thank you very much, V. Happy New Year to you as well. And I see you're in the chat room. I see SP is in the chat room right now. So Happy New Year to you guys. And I will say, from my own personal point of view, we are now a week past New Year's. We get to stop saying Happy New Year now. You've had a week. Your week is over. Anyone saying Happy New Year after the 7th of January is inaccurate.
Don't talk to the fans like that.
I'm talking to humanity. I'm talking to humanity that way.
You know, fair enough. Hey, Happy New Year's 2022. I don't care.
Oh, my brain hurts. I have to agree with SP then. Anytime Willie is muted is for the benefit of all mankind.
Probably.
And there's a Steamboat Willie joke to be made here somewhere. We can talk about that later as it comes to certain entities entering the common domain, I believe is what it public domain. If you want to send Willie Steamboat Willie stuff costume-wise for him to wear on the show, he'll do it. So feel free to link up with me on the social medias, and we'll make sure that Willie gets that material.
Let me know if you want it with or without Scar.
With.
To distinct it more from Steamboat Willie, just in case? Yes, I know that's your reasoning. Our
Steamboat Willie's going to have 2 E's at the end, too.
Oh,
Willie.
That's not what it says over here. That's 1 E.
I mean, I can probably change that. Do you want me to try?
No, because some people even spell it with a Y. And I'm like, how do you spell it? I mean, I get it. I'm not the fucking whale.
I'll change it back. You're okay. I'm just saying I've got power right now. And I'm flaunting it.
I don't know. The only thing that came to my head was Bruce Willie. Because I was thinking the Lee name at the very, that's the only thing that was popping is Bruce Lee for some reason.
Bruce Lee was an incredible martial artist. And now I want to go watch Enter the Dragon again.
No, you don't.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? Enter the Dragon's awesome.
I've never seen it.
Now, I'm not going to judge you because there is no judgment for people who haven't seen certain films. But I will say if you enjoy martial arts,
there's no judgment for people who've seen certain movies, huh?
Yeah. What you talking about, Willie?
I ain't saying nothing. I'm just keeping it there. Just want to let it know that it's there.
Willie's just keeping it real. Because keeping it real don't go wrong. I don't know. I got nothing.
Let's just go back to Chappelle's show. When keeping it real goes wrong.
I missed those days.
Don't be playing on her phone now. You know how she don't like that. Even though it was a wrong number and by accident. She don't care.
Look, I will still to this day say that some of those, the first 2 seasons of Chappelle's show were some of the funniest shit I've ever seen on TV. They were brilliant. Plus, we also got, is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a bitch? And that makes me laugh to this day.
Yeah, every time that I go see my parents and they're watching Let's Make a Deal, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? Made me laugh every time. It still does to this day.
Yeah, let's not forget that was nothing but a Training Day parody.
Yeah.
That's what makes it even hilarious. So Wayne Brady was Denzel Washington?
Pretty much.
Huh. So we know Wayne Brady can do Denzel Washington, and that makes him a good actor. But can Denzel Washington do a Wayne Brady? Who's the better actor? My point.
How are we grading better actor?
I literally just just laid it all up. I don't know. I don't know.
So if we want to get to non-subjective personal opinion things, I do believe Denzel Washington is a more decorated actor, which many people would argue makes someone a good actor.
Listen, just because he played King Kong.
King Kong ain't got nothing.
Oh shit! No, wait, that was just the line.
No.
I'm kidding, of course. I thought he was saying he was King Kong in that moment. And I took it literally.
SP claims to be a better actor. I'm not sure whether he meant Wayne or Denzel. Are we going to see The Equalizer 4 featuring Stargate Pioneer on Netflix?
Oh, great! We're whitewashing another movie.
It wasn't my intent. My apologies.
I know. No, I mean we already had Sarah Michelle Gellar get in on that. Wasn't she the one in that Suicide Force horror movie? Wasn't she the one in The Grudge?
Yeah, she was in The Grudge.
I think she was the one in that Suicide Force movie. Wasn't she?
She was in The Grudge, if that is the Suicide Force movie you're referencing. But I don't know.
No, it's two separate movies.
Oh, see, I don't know. It's horror movies. I don't really follow horror movies that much.
Yeah,
I will not stand for
The
Buffy the
Forest,
Vampire Slayer
right?
slander on this channel, though.
Yeah, it was just called the actress. I could, you know what? You can just have it. You can just have it. It was called The Forest, but it was about the Suicide Forest. Who was in that? Look, Natalie Dormer. Damn it!
You know, SP is right. Bachman would have known.
I'm looking at these names. I doubt it.
Dude,
Unless you mean if she was in it, then probably yeah.
You're talking about horror-esque movies. Bachman knows a lot more about horror movies than we do.
So you remember that movie game I mentioned? You know,
Yes.
going head to head.
Yes.
Me and Bachman went up against each other.
I'm aware. You were talking about it last week, and you beat him, if I recall correctly.
I did. I took him to many places that I love taking people in that game, like The Pest. Because who knows? I mean, who's a big fan of John Leguizamo other than myself?
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people. I just don't know off the top of my head.
Although I haven't. I also need to see Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
I don't even know what movie you're talking about.
You've never heard of that?
No, I didn't.
I think it came out in the late 90s. It's starring Patrick Swayze. Shit, was that Wesley Snipes? And John Leguizamo in drag.
Interesting. No, I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. That's the whole title.
All right, so you got competition. V's seen The Pest and Tu Wong Fu.
Well, you're better than me so far. I have The Pest on my shelf because I love that movie. Yeah, it was Wesley Snipes. Yes. Never seen it, but I do know of it.
You mean Willie Mays Hayes himself?
Exactly.
Or Blade?
From part 1 or part 2. Because he wasn't in Back to the Minors.
He was in part 1.
Wait, was he in Back to the Minors?
No, he was only in part 1 of it too. I thought he got recast in Major League 2.
Wait, was he recast or just a different character?
I thought they changed the actor because he wouldn't come back. I don't fully remember. But let's be honest here. Wesley Snipes is semi-known as being a difficult to work with actor, seeing as they had to CGI in Blade's eyes at one point in Blade 3.
Blade Trinity.
Yeah, excuse me, Blade Trinity.
With Hunter Hearst Helmsley in it.
How dare I slander the worst of the Blade movies?
The one with Ryan Reynolds in it?
Yes.
Blade
and
Flight,
Jessica Biel and Triple H.
Jessica Biel, that was it.
Yeah.
Yes. I've seen it one time in theaters. That's it. It was a shit movie. Come on.
And Dominic Monaghan. No, it's not Dominic Monaghan. It's Crap, I'm having a brain fart. Dominic Purcell. That's who it is.
Hmm.
The older brother from Prison Break, who was also Heatwave in the Legends and Flash TV show.
Yeah.
He was Dracula.
Was Chris Christopherson also in Blade Trinity for like a little cameo, or was he just dead by the time it started?
No, they did something where his character was alive again and then died, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird. I was like, didn't you die?
Listen, I mean, like Chris Christopherson movies, man.
It's just not as good as Blade 2. Blade 2 is the best. Guillermo del Toro killed it.
I will say the best Chris Christopherson movie would have to be, without a shadow of a doubt, Big Top Pee-wee.
Fair.
And how many people remember Big Top Pee-wee?
Not a lot.
I actually watched it recently again. It was pretty good.
Stepping back a sec, there's specific things about Wesley Snipes was just an absolute horror on set to work with. Patton Oswalt, I think, is the one that told a bunch of stories about that because he's also in that movie. But there was at one point in time where Blade is supposed to be on like a coroner's table that they think he's dead. And he's supposed to open his eyes and then like jump up and grab a dude by the throat. And Wesley Snipes just refused to open his eyes. He just sat there with his eyes closed. So when you watch that part of the movie, like they CGI in his eyes opening because he refused to open his eyes. He refused to talk in some of the things. Like, he was just an absolute horror on set.
Oh, that's because him and the director were arguing and fighting. That's why. The director was like, you need to open your eyes. He's like, fuck you.
So from V, hot take, actually like Blade Trinity. I like it, but it's the weakest of all three of the Blade movies. Like if I'm going to go back and rewatch a Blade movie, it's going to be Blade 2. Blade 2 is awesome. Really like you're thinking.
No, I think if I do want to see a Blade movie, I'm going to just watch the very beginning of the first Blade with the Blood Rave.
Blood Rave.
Blood Rave. It's Blood Rave.
If you want to see something Blade, it's not like we're getting a Blade movie anytime soon from the MCU. It looks like, seeing as they're on their fourth iteration of writing the script, maybe fifth. I don't even remember.
I'm not even sure. But if you want to watch a good Wesley Snipes movie, watch Demolition Man. That's a good one. He gets to have all the fun with that role.
That one's pretty.
What was his name? Joaquin Phoenix. I'm kidding. What was his name? It's something Phoenix. Phoenix. Well, it was Phoenix. Phoenix something. Simon Phoenix. That was it. Simon Phoenix. Simon says. Or Simon didn't say. That was the whole thing. Yeah, I remember now.
SP says if he wants to watch a Blade movie, he'll watch Luke Cage season 1. But I guess Mahershala is in that. Yeah.
But he's not Blade yet. It's not officially released. But his voice is there in the Eternals, right?
I think so. I don't remember.
He was like the voice when fucking Jon Snow was lifting the thing. Yeah, I'm still calling him Jon Snow. I don't care.
Oh, side note, we're not in the news of the week yet, but I thought this was interesting. There's an interview that oh my god, how did I forget his name? The actor's name all of a sudden. The actor who plays the Kingpin, whose name I'm forgetting all of a sudden.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio did, where he implied that the events of the Netflix series are now canon to the MCU. Things that we'll see in Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah, I saw some headline as I was scrolling through said the Echo trailer proves the Netflix show was real. I never clicked on it, so that's just what the headline said. I just passed by it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't know there was an Echo trailer out. Yeah,
and there's some pretty cool fight scenes that showed in there between Echo and Daredevil, so I'm kind of excited for that.
Are we getting Daredevil in his red suit or yellow suit?
It is the red and yellow suit. It appears in the Echo trailer, at least.
Oh,
the one he wore in She-Hulk.
Oh, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
It appears that's the suit that he'll have in Born Again as well. His TV show, or Netflix, not Netflix, his Disney Plus series whenever it comes out.
Listen. Until it comes out and I see it, I'm having no expectations because I keep hearing things going back and forth with Born Again. So I'm just holding until I see everything.
Well, didn't they make Drew Goddard the showrunner on it now? Which, if that's the case, I'm relatively optimistic on.
Drew Goddard. What didn't he do Bad Times El Royale? Was that him? Was that Drew Goddard? I know the name, but I can't picture what he's done.
Cabin in the Woods, Bad Times in the El Royale, X-Force, Cloverfield, The Martian. He's been involved in all of those.
Wait, did he direct Cabin in the Woods?
No, but I believe he was a producer on it.
Okay. Yeah, he did do Bad Times at El Royale. I knew that was him. That movie should have won something at the fucking Oscars that year. I am pissed that it wasn't. That was a great goddamn movie. I'm still a little pissed about it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of executive producing and writing credits and things like that. But supposedly, if I read correctly, he is now the showrunner for Daredevil Born Again, and he was one of the executive producers on the Netflix series for the first 3 seasons.
Well, how about that?
SP has heard that Scott Buck was going to get Born Again, so I think there's a few different rumors going around as to who it is.
Yeah, but I mean, until I see more of it, I don't know, man. I just keep hearing weird news over and over again. I don't know what to think about it till, so I'm just holding judgment till it's fully out. At this point.
I misspoke. I got it twisted. It's not Drew Goddard for Daredevil. The rumor is Drew Goddard is who they want for Spider-Man 4 because they want to do a Spider-Man that's more street-centric. So everyone's like, this is a good fit since he did Daredevil, and there's rumors that Daredevil may appear in Spider-Man 4. Sorry, got twisted.
I mean, I'm thinking, you know what? Just do whatever you want, guys. Just do whatever you want.
So,
if you want to
Willie,
put Daredevil and Spider-Man, sure.
Willie, here's the rumor as to why this may be happening is that the Daredevil stuff is going to come out before then, which is going to introduce Mayor Wilson Fisk, who is trying to outlaw vigilantism and street-level heroes and things like that. So it would tie in very nicely to have Fisk and Daredevil and some of the other street-level heroes involved with Spider-Man in a 4th Spider-Man movie where we actually get street-level Spider-Man versus going to space Spider-Man. Not that going to space Spider-Man is bad, but Spider-Man is generally the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Now, I might not want Daredevil in my Spider-Man, but I definitely want Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin in my Spider-Man. That's something I do want.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Just give me more Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio has spoken before about wanting to be involved in the Spider-Man stuff too, which could be really fun if they pull it off. Really fun.
Put him in an Ed suit or something. I don't give a shit. Just put him in there.
Yeah.
That's Men in Black reference.
I get what you're saying. I understand the words coming out of your mouth.
Now, I'm looking. I picture Ed from Men in Black, and I don't see Vincent D'Onofrio anywhere in there. They hit him well in that.
But he's also Private Pile.
Exactly.
From Full Metal Jacket.
Yep, Gomer Pyle from the show. The old-timey show. I'm just kidding.
Old-timey. I mean, I guess it is, what, an 80s movie at this point in time, Full Metal Jacket?
Wasn't it 90s? But anyway, no, I was going with the thing, the spinoff from
you just got corrected, Willie.
No,
it was Edgar, not Ed.
Oh yeah, you are right. Well, I mean, what is Ed short for? I mean, but no, I was thinking of the spinoff from like the Andy Griffith show, Gomer Pyle. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was just, he had a whole show where he was in the army and he had a weird voice and he sang pretty nice. If you can watch Me, Myself, and Irene and hear that about that, yeah. Listen, there's reference out of here, man. That's all.
Yeah, we're going pretty deep in the references.
I'm going on a train ride, man.
We're going to go on a train ride to the news of the week also.
Ooh.
Choo choo.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Hey guys, it's time to do the news of the week. It's that part of the show where we run down what's in our minds some of the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the past week or so. On top of the stuff that we already just randomly started talking about, because, yeah, we're really good about staying on topic. Really good. You want me to kick off with mine first, Willie?
Be my host.
I will be your host, and we're going to go to the land of Canada for this one. So, Steven, if you're listening, this one's for you. We're going to talk about a Canadian cartoon from the 90s that we've talked about on this show before. And Willie, I know you've looked at the show notes, but what is one of your favorite CGI Canadian cartoons from the 90s that we've talked about plenty of times on this show before?
Are you giving me the go-ahead to spoil it?
You spoil it.
Reboot!
That's right. We have some really cool reboot news. Now, we've talked about before our enjoyment of it, the fact we're really bummed that the 4th season ended on a cliffhanger that never ended, because it was a cartoon that ran from 1990 to No, 94 to 2001, it was on TV, but I think it was only 4 seasons or something like that.
Mhm.
But we are children of the 90s, Willie, so we ended up watching us some Reboot. I know that. Because in 94, you and I would have been, what, 9 or 10, depending? Yes, this was right in our wheelhouse.
Bob is your Lord and Savior. He's here to help at the mainframe.
So for those that aren't familiar, Reboot was a full-length 3D animated TV show. It predated Toy Story, which often gets a lot of recognition for being one of the first fully length 3D animated movies that caught on with people. Reboot was done at first on TV, obviously without the Pixar/Disney budget. It was produced in Vancouver by a group called Mainframe Entertainment, and it aired between 94 and 2001. And to this day, there are still a bunch of folks who are fans of Reboot, Willie and I included. Some of those fans are Jacob Weld and Raquel Lynn, who live in British Columbia, who are making a documentary about the creation of the show and its impact on the film and TV world. Why is this important? Well, as part of what they're trying to do with their documentary is to get good footage to be able to showcase the show, talk about it, include it in there, and immortalize it, basically. They reached out to Mainframe, the company that made Reboot, and asked if they could come to the studio to see if they could find any of the original master tapes that have often been found or talked about to be permanently lost. So, like, we can watch Reboot because there's still tapes out there from when it's aired. But the master tapes in which they created everything, wrote it all to tape, nobody's really known where those are until now. And how do we know this? Because they have their Twitter account at Reboot Rewind. They said, an update on the status of our search. The past few days have been nothing but a lesson in kindness. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Effectively, they found all of the tapes. They had boxes upon boxes upon boxes, hundreds of tapes. The original resolution, original frame rate, uncompressed. And if they could get them to play, they would look beautiful. That's the catch. If they can get them to play, because there is not actually a tape deck available at Mainframe that will play these original tapes. They're on a rare digital tape format called D1. That's a technology that was cutting edge when Mainframe was using it, but nowadays, certainly not cutting edge. And in fact, there's not many, or nobody really knows of any off the top of their head of any D1 playback machines that are out there. So Weldon and Lynn have put a call out on social media for a working Bosch BTS D1 deck that would allow them to play the tapes and incorporate them into their documentary. If they can secure a working Bosch D1 deck, in theory, they would be able to pull out full res original master tape footage of Reboot to include in their documentary, and to potentially include, if they decided to, remastered version of Reboot or something like that going forward. Do we know if that's going to happen? Who knows? But they're looking for it. That's the key, and they hopefully will find it.
I would like to see some remastered Bob, Dot, and Enzo. Was Enzo right? I think so. And some Hexadecimal. I forget the big main guy, bad guy's name off the top of my head. The big purple guy. I forget his name off the top of my head. Remember Hexadecimal, the fucking crazy lady with the changing of the faces.
Oh, yes. I just can't remember the characters' names.
I remember some of them. I think Enzo turned into Maddox when he when him and the other sprite girl got sucked up into a game and lived lifetimes and then came back. And he's missing an eye now and has a gold M in it. Like, it's weird. Like, I really love that show when it went to that dark tone. Even as a kid, that was weird.
They are not rebooting Reboot yet, V, but it's been talked about before.
They did reboot. Are you kidding me? They did it so shittily on Netflix. It wasn't even the same story. It was kids getting sucked in a computer. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
That's why I don't remember. I've repressed it.
It was. I didn't even watch it because I was like, "That's what you're turning." I'm done. This is. It's not even the same thing. It's not the same thing. You're just doing your own thing. Why are you calling it that? Why are you spending the money to license this when it has nothing to do with it? Get out of here. I don't want to hear it.
All right, Willie doesn't want to hear it.
It blows my mind when people pay for licenses and they just ignore it. It blows my mind.
Yeah, if you're watching the live video stream right now, here is, I guess this was on Facebook, and they shared the screenshot on their Twitter account of stacks upon stacks of tapes. I'm very excited. Here's actually bigger pictures of all of the tapes.
Some big ass tapes.
I mean, that was the proprietary format at the time, I guess.
Oh, I believe it. I just
And
didn't
you can
expect it to
see,
be so big.
for instance, this one here marked stereo master.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the master tapes. This one's also marked master version 1. It's very exciting.
My question is Canada a PAL region?
Evidently.
I thought they were NTSC. I never thought about it.
I don't believe so, but I'm not 100% sure.
'Cause I thought PAL was just Europe.
I don't know. They also found the reboot
Ooh.
promo for the Gemini Awards.
Whatever that is.
I believe it is a Canadian award show.
Whoa. You see that? You see on the header? It's the logo. Woo!
It is.
Oh yeah, for your audio listeners, there was an envelope with the header of the old logo for Reboot.
And they finished up that whole thread of things saying some notes. Yes, we've been working with technicians and tech gurus. While we don't own the tapes, we will try our hardest to suggest a new box set. The tapes will be in the best hands possible. We're told the internet reboot was in danger and the world said, I don't think so. We told the internet reboot was in danger and the world said, I don't think so. So they've got some cool stuff here. Cool stuff. This was originally posted in December. I didn't find out about it until I think it was last week when I saw, right after our show, basically, a news story about the finding of the reboot tapes and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to see where they go with this. And I want to watch the hell out of this documentary now. I don't know how I get it. I'm going to have to do some looking to find out.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it won't be out for at least till a year and a half since they're still looking for these tape playbacks.
According to their profile on the Twitter app, I refuse to call it X, so it'll still be Twitter. They say releasing in 2024.
But they don't know when they can have access to those.
So the tapes are so my understanding here is the tapes are secondary for them to add in as flavor for part of their documentary as they're doing it. If you go to their Twitter account at Reboot Rewind, the very pinned top entry is from January 1, which is their trailer for the documentary. And I believe they want to come out this year because it's the 30th anniversary of Reboot in 2024. So it would line up quite nicely if they could drop it today.
You know, it would probably be more appreciative than these actual, the actual master tapes.
What's that?
Just get a VHS tape that some kid recorded off Toonami. People will love that. You see the little Toonami guy walk in and then Reboot? Oh, they'll go, that's better than this any day.
Well, they brought Toonami back, though, to some extent, though. So
I'm talking about for the doc, but just show some of that.
Oh.
That's all.
That's a question of whether Toonami, I guess, is technically owned by Warner Brothers Discovery now, since they own Adult Swim. Do you think Warner Discovery is going to give them a decent price to show the Toonami dude?
What does Adult Swim have to do with any of this?
Adult Swim is where the Toonami dude is featured now on Cartoon Network and stuff like that, which is owned by Warner Discovery. Now? Yes.
I'm talking about back then. He had nothing to do with Adult Swim back then.
But now the rights holder, I believe, is Warner Discovery.
Yeah.
And if it's Warner Discovery, they ain't going to give you shit.
And they're also probably going to fuck around and find out and like, oh, well, we don't know why we fucked up. Well, probably because you fucked up.
We're sorry.
Hey, you're Time Warner. Everything you do, you fuck up. Let's look at Max. All right? Where's all the shows on Max that you guys own and just take off? Why? I don't know. Makes no sense.
So the real thing here is if somehow someone is watching our podcast or listening to it right now and they have a Bosch D1 deck, please reach out to the folks at Reboot Rewind on Twitter because that's what they need to be able to play this footage. They have confirmed is a Bosch D1 deck. Any Sony D1 decks probably won't work for the tapes they have.
Wait, Bosch, isn't that the tool makers?
Bosch makes a whole variety of different things. At one point in time, they used to just throw their brand name on a bunch of things through licensing and stuff like that, I believe, too.
Know that.
Well, now you know. And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, I always like to say it's half the hassle, but that's me.
That's fair. I'm much like SP. SP took off Max. No need to support that type of buffoonery. I haven't had Max and I love Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but I just watch his clips he posts on YouTube at this point in time. But yeah, I kind of stopped supporting it. I fully admit it, and I will admit again on this show, what would bring me back is if they started having the AEW tape library and live AEW content, then during the non-football time of year, I could not have YouTube TV and just have Max for far cheaper and be able to watch my professional wrestling still.
I don't want them to raise the price for something I'm not going to watch, though.
Well, so if you believe what has been floated out there is they're going to have a separate sports tier that you pay on top of Max to be able to get the sports content.
Then I approve.
Because I guess they're going to try and they have all the rights to March Madness when March Madness is coming up for the NCAA basketball tournament. And they're making a point of saying you'll be able to stream it all on Max as they showcase their sports package that after they showcase it, they'll start charging for.
Hey, Chris, this is going to be a little bit of a tangent, but this question's always been in my mind.
All right, go for it.
You're into college sports, right?
Yes, I am.
So you brought up March Madness, and I always grew up around March Madness, but my question is, like, I never cared about college sports, so I know North Carolina has a lot of, like, big-name teams, but are they big-name, or is it just that because I live around them that I hear all the time? Like, Wake Forest, Duke, State, Tar Heels, like, are those big schools, or, like, for the sports-wise?
For basketball?
I live here.
For basketball, yes. For football, not necessarily. But for instance,
I don't care about football.
UNC and Duke are some of the most heavily winning college basketball teams. How many titles did Coach K win? I can't even remember. How many titles has Dean Smith won?
Because, you know, when you're in it and you're like, is it just because I'm in the area that I keep hearing it, or are they actually big?
So,
I never knew, you know?
You're also getting proximity things too because you're in the area, but UNC and Duke and Wake have all had various different runs and stuff like that where they've been very good in the world of basketball. Not so much for the football.
Oh, we don't care about football. Who cares about that shit? American football. I'm just kidding about that. It's nice.
We're going to have the Super Bowl season. We're in the NFL playoffs after this.
You can't say that.
Yes, I can.
All right, fine. I mean, you've been doing the joke for years now, and now all of a sudden we can do it. All right, fine.
Do you want me to just go back to saying Superb Owl all the time?
No, but all of a sudden now it's okay.
I mean, I've always said it jokingly on Superb Owl Sunday that we can't say it. I mean, I haven't really carried the joke before or after.
I mean, you know, I'm going to keep my opinions to myself for the first time in my life.
No, I don't believe this. I'm very concerned right here. Well, since Willie wants to keep his opinion to himself on that, we're going to find another topic where he's not going to keep his opinion to himself. What you got for your news, Willie?
So, the old people, it's a war. It's a war out there. They're trying to take away your liberties. All these old bastards that won't die off. They're scared of technology and what it can do for the future. What I'm bringing up here is that why are all these people fighting self-checkouts? I love self-checkouts. I prefer to go to them because I don't need to deal with people. I used to be a cashier. And do you know how many times someone goes, oh, card won't work, must be free? I fucking hate that joke. If you do that joke, fuck off. No one likes that joke. No one. Just shut the fuck up and never do it again. But yeah, let me go to self-checkouts. Stop trying to fight the technology of the self-checkouts. I don't know how to scan my... It's a fucking barcode. Put it to the camera. What can you not get about this? It's so... And then once it beeps, put it in your bag. Now, yes, if you have a whole cart of stuff, I would much prefer to go to a regular checkout. Yes, because then, yeah, let them do it. I'm not like, because it's a lot of stuff and you're holding up the people. I see self-checkouts as quick things. So when you see someone there with a whole cart of stuff, like, what are you doing, dude? Get the fuck out of here. Aha! Thank you, SP. You see? People can agree with Willie. Willie can be right.
For reference, SP had said in the chat, oh my God, I actually agree with Willie on something. I do too. It feels wrong though. But yes,
I can't go so long without people saying, oh, these self-checkouts, when you get rid of them, like
self-checkout, there's another issue that we're not considering from our consumer standpoint is there's a bunch of people that just rob blind by using self-checkout. A bunch of people that steal shit, or they'll scan one thing but drop another thing in the basket. And if people aren't paying attention in the self-checkout, which arguably it's hard to do because, for instance, at one of my local Walmarts, the whole self-checkout area, there's like 12 registers there and one, maybe two people assigned to monitor.
That's not really on the self-checkout, because let me tell you about a little ancillary story that happened when I accidentally stole from Kmart when those existed. There might be one.
I think there's still one left.
Like Blockbuster. Who the fuck cares, though? So I accidentally stole from Kmart. It was a random wild night when I was like, I want to own the movie Evolution. This was a long time ago, back like 2006, 2007, I think, sometime around there. And I was like, hey, buddies, you guys want to go with me to like Walmart to buy this movie? And like, they're like, yeah, sure. So we all jumped in the Jeep. We went to Walmart. Walmart didn't have it. So I was like, all right, Kmart's right across the street. Let's go over there. Let's see if they got it. I had to jump across because they had their electronic section blocked off. I was like, I'm just here for the fucking movies, man. I don't care. I hopped over it, found Evolution. I was like, yeah, I think there was another movie. I think I also got Super Troopers the same day. It was a good day on DVD. I went up to the register, bought the things, and on the way out, there's the person saying, can I check your receipt? They were even doing it back then, too. So, yeah, it's still a thing. Back then, I said, yeah, sure, I got nothing. Here's my bag. There's a quarter machine. I'm gonna get a bouncy ball. Go for it. Check it. I wasn't even looking. They checked my bag. I got a bouncy ball bouncing with my bag of movies. Boop, boop. And then just went on the way out. And then when we got in the Jeep, I was like, let me look at my haul. Reached in that bag and go, ow, the fuck was that? Something sharp poked me in the finger. And I'm like, DVDs don't have sharp corners. What the fuck is this shit? I pull out a couple of pairs of earring things that were just in the bag, like Christmas earrings too, like snowmen and snowflakes and stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm already out in the Jeep in the parking lot. I'm not going back in there. These are just mine now. I don't care. They're like little cheap earrings. So I accidentally stole. Apparently, someone had put them in a bag, the cashier, because there was no self-checkouts at the time. It was someone did check me out. Those were already in the bag, I'm assuming, is what I'm guessing happened. And they put the movies in there. And then that's what happened. The person before them just didn't get their earrings. They're shitty Christmas earrings. Really? I don't know why you would choose to get those. They were tacky, but that's just me.
Like SP says, Kmart lost protections coming after you, which is technically Sears now since they bought Kmart. But Sears is also.
Well, where the fuck is Sears?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who owns the rights, but they're coming. But what I would point out, Willie, is you have an honest mistake there that wasn't your fault, but someone else screwed up. Whereas there are other people who purposely game and cheat the system to steal shit from stores like that. That is part of the problem they run into with self-checkout, that they thought they could police better than they actually can, rather. And that's part of the reasoning for some of these corporate-minded folks. They're talking about reducing self-checkout after they've shifted so heavily to it, because they just can't keep track of all of that stuff very well. And people stealing a couple bucks worth of stuff adds up real quick.
All right. Let me, so I guess when I don't really think of like Walmart and places like that with self-checkout. Target, I don't really think about that.
You're thinking the grocery store kind of thing.
Just grocery store.
Okay, fair.
Because I go in, I want to go in, I get out. I'm only coming in for a couple things.
No, I get that.
I don't mind doing multiple trips in a week as long as for small things instead of just one big old trip.
So grocery stores are the same problem there. Some of it is people stealing. Some of it is people just not knowing how to use the shit and screwing up and taking stuff. One of the things I really miss, which is a pre-pandemic thing, it's never coming back again, but Kroger had a thing called Click List. And when you came into Kroger, at either entrance, there was just like a stack of barcode scanners that were little Android cell phone tablets or whatever integrated with a barcode scanner. And what you would do is you'd go pick up that scanner, you would log into your Kroger account using your Kroger card or phone number, and then you would just go through the store. And as you pick things up, you would scan them and put them in your cart. If you were weighing produce, you would go get your produce, set it on the scale, and then you would scan the barcode on the scale, and it would be able to communicate that and put it to your account. You could use this little tablet to remove things. If you decide, oh, I don't actually need this bag of apples, you could remove it put those apples back.
You better put them back right where you got them to, not just in the fucking canned produce or the canned vegetable section, you son of a bitch.
Yes,
put them back where you got 'em.
That's what you should do. But this was an awesome thing for me because what I would do is I would come in, I'd just open up my canvas bags in the cart, I would scan things, toss them in, and then when it was time to check out, you would go to the self-checkout, and all you would do is scan the barcode on the self-checkout, and it would put everything that you'd scanned onto that self-checkout thing, and then you could just check out and pay from there and leave. That gave them the opportunity also to come and check. So say I had scanned $100 Wagyu steak or something like that. They could then go and check to make sure that that was in there. Or if they saw that I'd scanned that and then removed it, they could do that. I thought that was great. Yeah, right. Evidently, a bunch of people were using that to steal a bunch of other stuff because they didn't have enough people at the checkouts to be able to actively monitor all the stuff that was coming through. So stuff slipped through the cracks. Not just honest mistakes, but people legitimately gaming the system to steal shit.
Wait. What do you mean they didn't have enough people? You're automating a lot of shit, so you should... Where are all these people going?
But Willie, here's the problem: is they want to automate these so they can hire less people, so there's less coverage. So they're like, "Oh, we have 12 self-checkout registers, so we only need to have 4 people up front to handle cashier duties, and 2 of those people are going to monitor those 12 self-checkouts, and the other 2 people will just run registers." Stuff like that. That's what's happening. Is they're cutting staff because they think they can automate things through the self-checkout and they don't have the proper number of people there to monitor appropriately. Same thing you see at Walmart for people doing it. I mean, in Walmart's even got a new thing now. If you have Walmart Plus, you can do this same click list process I described using your cell phone in Walmart. And you can scan the barcodes and it'll put it in your Walmart Plus bucket. And then you can go to the checkout and check out for the register as you buy everything that way.
Is Walmart Plus a paid subscription thing?
Yes.
Oh, fuck off, Walmart. Everyone who gets it, don't go get away from Walmart. Go somewhere else. Come on, have some class. Walmart Plus.
Now,
fuck out of here.
V points out that's exactly why people say we need to get rid of self-checkout. I don't think we need to get rid of it. I think we need to be smarter with it, which is people are going to cheat and people are going to screw up. I think there needs to be the people that you would normally have running registers that you think you have savings in, not being able to have them work a register. You need to have them there to help monitor that process and to observe people who may look squirrely when they're checking out and say, hey, these are the ones that maybe we need to randomly check their receipts.
So here's where my expertise comes in, because guess what I've done in the past? Like I said, I was a cashier.
You've done a lot of things.
I've also been in charge of the self-checkout machines. I could handle 3 people at once instead of dealing one at a time. I could handle 3 people. And of course, you get those old people like, I don't want to do this. You do it for me. Like,
fair.
I cannot wait for these old people to die out. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit.
Real quick before you continue that, I need to make a correction here because I attributed a comment to V without fully attributing it properly. V was bringing up the fact that that's an example of why people say that we need to get rid of self-checkout. Not necessarily that V thinks that's the reason self-checkout needs to go away. So,
no worries. Even if you did think, I wouldn't judge you.
Right, but I wanted to clarify for the audience so that we didn't put V in a spot where V's catching heat from people that was not intended.
No. I just why can't we like I can watch people and I could tell when they're trying to be shifty. Like I can tell like I don't get it. And also the old systems that Food Lion had when I was doing it was stupid. They had the old little thing where you scan it and there's a conveyor belt that I don't know what the conveyor that weighed it and it also made sure there was items going in. It was weird. They had a weird system. They have a new thing now where you just scan it, put it on the weight thing, and that's it. That was a smarter thing they're doing now. Thank God. But I always like, oh, I'm in a bad Food Lion because they don't have a self-checkout. Great. You know what? I'm going to go out of my way to go to the one that does have a self-checkout. And that's where we're at now. I'll go to the one near my parents, the one that's right down the street. It's like that's like a good hour and like not quite 30 minutes, but it's over an hour trip back, doing all that.
Oh, I don't care that
10
much.
10 minutes there and back. I don't care.
Yeah, 10 minutes is totally worth it to me.
I'll do the hour and a half thing. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that shit.
Jeez, Willie. I would not. I would not. Now, I will say this is most of the places around me have the self-checkout and processes like that. Like My Fave Tech was in there and says Sam's Club has that scan and go process. My wife uses that at Sam's all the time, but evidently Costco doesn't, is what they've pointed out. I like that process, but I'm also not technology illiterate like some folks are, where the concept of having to use my cell phone or a scanner to do something on top of my regular shopping makes some people break out in hives, just because some people don't do phones. Like, for instance, my mom, she does all the grocery shopping and stuff for there, but she's what my dad calls a techno peasant. She can sometimes answer a text on a phone and she can make phone calls, but anything beyond that, and she's like, nope, don't care, don't want to deal with it. So like if you told her, here, use this scan, grab, go, or this click list kind of thing for Sam's, nope, she wouldn't do it. She'd just use the regular register or a self-checkout. She will use those also. But my mom is also a big couponer, and most of the times when you have coupons, the self-checkout stuff always throws up a bunch of flags for, oh, we need this, we need that. So it's easier for her in that case to go to a regular register so she can hand over a stack of coupons.
To add to your story, I was woken up yesterday morning and had to go to my parents because the remote control wasn't doing the exact right thing. And all I had to do was push the STB button on their cable box remote. And that was it. That made it. Oh my. It's like, I know those, fuck cable boxes in general anyway. I fucking hate you guys. But yeah, and they're fucking universal remotes that they just have to fucking use. It blows my mind. I don't even know what STB stands for. Do you know, Chris?
Set top box.
God damn it. I want to punch everyone involved in that whole coming up with that shit. Just fucking write it out on the fucking button. I don't care.
There's not enough room on the button.
I don't care. Figure it out. Or don't have the goddamn button anyway.
Willie, how are these folks going to read a button when they got to put reading glasses on to be able to read set top box and size 2 font?
Something else then. You came up with the wording. Make something else up that's easier. Jesus Christ.
I'm just glad my dad is technology inclined. So like he has a Logitech Harmony smart remote there, and all he does is just push the button and says watch TV, and it flips everything to the right inputs, or play a video game, flips everything to the right inputs. Keeps his life very simple, and it makes it so my mom can do these things very simply as well.
People like your mom and my mom, I don't get it. I don't know how to use TikTok, never done it, but if I pull it up and start messing with it, guess what? I'm going to fucking figure it out. What's your excuse? Figure it out.
My excuse is I don't want spyware on my phone, so I don't use TikTok.
Well, that was just an example. I mean,
okay, fair.
As an example, like figure it out. That's the overall thing. Just figure it out. Just play with it. I don't know I don't know how to program shit, but I know how to look through options and see what buttons do what and what they change. That's it. I'm not some genius fucking. I'm just some regular dude who's like, oh, I know how to push some buttons.
No, you're just some dude.
Some dude. There's an exclamation point. Thank you.
My apologies. I hate to have slandered you. Now, going back to all this, I do understand your points you've made about self-checkout, but I think we are also of a different generation where that's not deemed to be daunting to us.
Well, once again, I'm not saying that every register should be self-checkout. I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is let me keep self-checkout. Stop trying to take it away from me. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm arguing is I want what Amazon's talking about, which we talked about in the Gonna Geek show. I think we talked about in the pre-show too, but the Gonna Geek show, we've talked about it a lot, where Amazon has a setup for, there's a location in New York, there's a couple locations in Seattle that have it or whatnot, where when you go in the store, there's a crap load of cameras mounted in the ceiling that track everyone as they go around. And when you come in the store, you basically scan a barcode on your Amazon app. And what that does is it links your Amazon account to you while you're in the store. And what these cameras do is monitor everything you put into your basket and everything you take out of your basket and things like that. So when it's time to check out, you literally just walk out the store and it then charges your Amazon account accordingly. That is pretty cool.
Genius, yeah.
And my understanding then is they do have a couple folks that are there to assist with any issues that would happen, but they're able to have more staff available for sorting of goods, putting goods out, things like that. This is not cheap to do. There's privacy considerations too, because some people might be like, I don't want these big companies to have my biometric data. I understand people's potential reservations there. But the tech is really cool. And that's what I would love to see in something like Kroger or Walmart or or Target or something like that, where it's literally like, I just want to run in and pick this up. So I run in, pick it up off the shelf and walk out the store and my account gets charged. I don't have to talk to a single damn person while I'm there. That's the dream.
That is the dream, man. The day I don't have to talk to your, But
the key to it to me is this shouldn't be done as a cost-cutting measure to get rid of labor, because you still need people in the store to do stocking, to do cleaning, to do sorting of things, to assist customers that have issues. Yes, you may need less people on a register at a given time, but that doesn't mean you don't need people to support this initiative. And in fact, one could argue, because of potential issues with this, you may need a few more people in loss prevention whose job it is to monitor these kind of things, to make sure that nobody's robbing you blind.
That is fair.
Personal opinion, none of us here are really experts on how any of these systems work. I read a lot because it fascinates me, but I would love to see an instance of what Amazon does here. I guess there's the train line in Florida. It's called Brightline, that I think runs between like Orlando and Miami. And if they have a store in their hubs, and it works in a similar concept of you scan a QR code on the Brightline app and you walk in, and then it links your face to your account. You pick up whatever you want on the convenience store and you walk out and leave, and it just charges you. That's cool.
Yeah, that's the positive side of it, not them stealing your biometrics. But yeah,
right.
That's the good thing of it.
Evidently, V says Apple's had that no hassle shop and checkout for years, but not involving all the cameras. I need to go look up and see how they do it, because that could be interesting too. I'm sure they also have a fair amount of people put into loss prevention there, so that nobody's walking out with a $2,000 MacBook or something like that when they're trying to claim it's an iPad.
Don't try and talk good to me about Apple. I don't care. They're all bad apples.
He says to the man who's running this podcast from a Mac Mini right now.
Yeah, I mean their business practices, not so much their items. And the people that just won't stop. I'm censoring myself all day today for you, Chris. I hope I was about to go far with it.
I appreciate your self-censorship. Thank you.
He deserve it.
I appreciate you, Willie. I appreciate you.
And since I'm kind of on a rant here, can I rant about something else?
Oh, let's just go for it. This is the Willie rant section of the show. We're going loosey-goosey.
Hey, guys, when I'm in a gas station or something and I want to just check the fuck out, can you stop getting lottery tickets? Just get out of my way. Oh, you're taking 20 minutes here, making sure you get the exact right lottery ticket you need. I don't care. Get out of my way. That's all. I just hate people who do lottery tickets and just take up an amazing amount of time. And
you guys don't have like vending machines that do lottery tickets there? That's what we've got.
Those are scratch offs only though.
Oh, that's
talking
true.
about like the Powerball and shit, like Mega Millions. Like, just get out of my way. I just want to pay for my stuff. Like, yes, I would use the Sheet self-checkout thing, but guess what? I want cigarettes. I got to go to a person to do that. And this person's in my way.
So looking real quick, tying this back to what V was talking about with the self-checkout thing, I just did a Google search for it real quick, and I have the AI tools enabled. So evidently there is a self-checkout feature. You download the Apple Store app, you scan the barcode of the item you want to buy with your iPhone camera, tap the self-checkout button, and then if you have Apple Pay set up, tap buy with Apple Pay. You then pay for your credit card associated with your Apple ID, and you can walk out. That's cool. That's similar to what we've seen in Sheets, that click list thing we talked about at Kroger they used to do, things like that. I like it. And then V also says they still have plenty of sales folks walking around. Part of their job is loss prevention. They have the Genius Bar, so point being they've got a no hassle checkout without cutting staff. That's the way to do it. But you see, we're thinking about it from a way of efficiency, whereas these companies are thinking about it as a way to cut costs as best as they can, which don't actually cut costs, because by not having people there to monitor things, dishonest people just steal more shit. I fully agree that sometimes accidents are going to happen. People get confused. They grab the wrong thing, scan the wrong barcode. Accidents will happen. But there's people that game the system to steal and get a bunch of shit. And those people are the ones that prove the point of you can't just cut all the people that are supposed to be monitoring these things. You need people there to keep an eye on stuff.
So what can those people in the Apple stores do for actual loss prevention? What can they do to stop it? Because everything I've ever heard is, no, you can't touch a person. They walking out, you can't do anything. You just got to let them go.
So I guess it varies, because some places have people that are dedicated loss prevention, for lack of a better term, security guards, who I guess, are empowered to be able to do stuff. When I worked at Walmart, which is years upon years ago, because this is back when I was in college, I've been out of school for over a decade at this point in time. One of the things I was told is if you notice someone stealing something, you need to radio it in so that the loss prevention folks can deal with it. All you are supposed to do is to monitor them and to alert the loss prevention folks to deal with it, because they don't want an employee getting involved, because if an employee gets hurt, there's a workers' comp thing. If an employee gets pushed down, there's a workers' comp and police issues. If an employee gets mad at a customer and pushes or punches them, then there's other issues there. So then it was the loss prevention people are the only people that are authorized to deal with any of this stuff, which generally consists of they would check to see a receipt. If the person said no, they would detain them and call the police, because they could have tape and things like that for stuff that was going to happen. And again, you run into an issue of where's your point where it's worth it? If someone steals a $1.50 candy bar versus someone stealing, say, AirPods.
I don't care if they're stealing AirPods. Apple's a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. What the fuck do I give a shit? Let me teardrop.
I'm pointing out a difference between
I know.
prices there to figure out where you do it.
I mean,
like
fuck the people trying to steal those AirPods.
Yeah.
But yeah,
V points out these days companies are very careful about safety of all parties, so it's touchy. And this is stuff that was a decade plus ago. I'm sure it's similar, but I've noticed now, for instance, when I go to my local Target, there is almost always a dude at the front of the store that has like a security, not necessarily a security shirt, but a shirt with like the yellow safety stripes on it, and it says Target Loss Prevention. That is always by the main entrance and has a walkie-talkie on his belt. There are some GameStops, especially over the holidays, where folks would have security guards hired to support the GameStop because of, especially when PS5s and Xboxes first came out, people would come and try and steal them.
What? They're in the back. What do you mean? How are they stealing them? What? They don't keep.
Not always, because some of them were kept behind
the floor. You deserve to get it stolen for being so stupid.
And here, we've got another point of view here. My fave tech on the YouTube side of the house says, I was loss prevention and store investigator years ago. We could handcuff people and wait for PD.
How do I get that job? I want to do that.
I think you got to go back in time, because I doubt they're allowed to do that now because of liability issues. Not just for the customer, but for you if you handcuffed someone and someone punched you or something like that, or someone resisted and hurt
German
you.
suplex him. How do I get to do that? Tell me what do I get? Where do I go to do that?
You need to train as a professional wrestler, and then you can suplex people.
No. I'm not talking about in a fake wrestling ring. I mean in a real world. Just
Willie,
you want to fight
not
me?
Fake.
Like I could pick people up.
Not fake.
Trust me, it's easy to pick people up. I don't care who you are. I pick Chris up. I've done it. I can suplex people left and right. I'll do it. I just want to slam some heads, man. That's all I want to do.
No, I get it.
Not in a fake wrestling way.
We've also seen that, like, for instance, my Best Buy now, they have everything set up so that everything funnels through one set of doors, and that everyone goes out. Their receipts are checked. There's no self-checkout option there, but they do a very good job of monitoring people throughout the store, because they're obviously not helping any customers on the floor, because I can never find someone to help me when I'm at a Best Buy, but they're watching their cameras evidently to make sure I don't steal shit.
You just brought up a sore spot for me, Chris.
I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we already talked about it. I just want my movies. I just want my movies, Best Buy. Stop it. Just stop.
For those that are unaware, we did talk about it on this show, and that's how we'll stop this tangent on customer service and things like that. And we'll go to one last story and wrap things up then. As of January 1, pretty much all Best Buys are stopping carrying physical media.
Wait, when?
January 1.
So, next year?
No, this year.
God damn it, I missed it.
So if you go to a bunch of like the subreddits for people who are movie collectors and stuff like that, they have talked about the fact that it's a sad day. People have taken photos of empty DVD racks in the stores, as Best Buy is shifting all of their Blu-rays and movie purchases to being online only and store pickup only.
Wait, store?
They'll ship them to the store for you to pick up there. That's what I mean. Yeah. This is where we are on that now. It's potentially problematic.
I mean, we so many chances on random movies at Best Buy. Just random movies like Bone Tomahawk, which turned out to be fantastic.
But it's not just Best Buy though. Like Target's doing the same thing. Like my Target has like one rack of movies nowadays, and it's not much there. They have a crap load of vinyl, but they don't have many movies. Walmart.
Oh, who's in charge of that decision? I want to suplex them. Oh, yeah.
Walmart has also cut back on their number of movies, I've noticed. Not that I go to Walmart very often, but they tended to have a big selection of Blu-rays and movies. And I've noticed that as time has gone on, it's been less and less. And I have seen less and less of like the $5 Blu-ray bins. You remember those, Willie, where you dig in and find some cool little gems.
There was a time in my life when I would go to Best Buy every week. When I was actually working at Food Line, and I was doing a little bit third shift every so often. So I would look at the Sunday papers that would come in on Saturday, Sunday morning, that little weird time frame, whatever. And I would get the Sunday papers. I'd look at the Best Buy ad after looking at the comics, because that's always fun.
Fair.
Look at the Best Buy ad, like what movies are on sale this week. And I would only get movies that were on sale. Yeah. And that's why I have so many fucking DVDs. And now, fuck you. You can't do it anymore, I guess.
Unless, you can go to some of the places that still have physical media, but it is less and less.
I don't want to go to the mall to FYE. Or
FYE is expensive too. Even when it's on sale, it's expensive.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the mall is just as expensive, which is understandable because you have to pay for the price of the being in the mall, which makes no sense anymore because who goes to the mall? But that's neither here nor there. Are there standalone FYEs?
I doubt it. I imagine they're either in malls or strip malls would be shopping centers.
I would consider strip malls being separate than just a mall. I mean, most because it's outdoor, but who cares? That's semantics.
But even then, FYE's been carrying less and less physical media and shifting more and more into the let's call it the Walmart model of just buying a crap load of Funko Pops and other random nerd stuff and tossing it in there.
I would call it the GameStop model, but
okay, GameStop model too. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean that just fits a little bit more better. The small stores that just merchandise. Yeah, let's do merchandise instead of what people like us for. You remember Suncoast?
Yes.
Oh God, I remember the Suncoast at Oak Hollow Mall in High Point was closing down, and that's what I got. The Clerks animated series on DVD.
It's fun though.
Oh, I remember that. Also got Howard the Duck on DVD. That copy got lost sometime a long time ago, sadly. My copy of Howard the Duck, actually I have two copies. The DVD copy is Thank You SP. A long time ago, I won a thing from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it turned out to be the Howard the Duck DVD. I still have that over there. I have since also bought the 4K Blu-ray of Howard the Duck, because fuck you, why not?
That's good reason.
Howard the Duck, woo! That's all I got.
I get it. I get it a lot.
Man, I'm glad being. Where's all this energy coming from? I guess being not as sick anymore is doing that. Still there, still right here in the sinus.
It'll pass at some point in time.
I feel like I'm talking like Owen Wilson sometimes. Like wow.
A couple comments I'd missed in the chat room, and then we'll start wrapping things up. My Fave Tech had said we had some people got hurt, almost run over. Talking back in the day when Mervin's was part of Target. So that was a while ago when My Fave Tech was part of loss prevention there.
Listen, let's bring it back to what was that hockey movie? The Mighty Ducks. Let's bring it back to Mighty Ducks Part 2. You and me, buddy, the Bash Brothers. Let's do it. I'll be the guy who's in Daredevil, the Netflix series. Forget his name off the top of my head. He was also in Idle Hands. God, I can't remember his name. He's Foggy Nelson in the Netflix.
Oh,
he was one of the Bash Brothers.
I should know. I'm forgetting his name.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
V's pointed out.
It's good.
V pointed out I've voluntarily been shifting my media collections to digital for years because of space reasons. Many people have also. Anyway, I'm probably part of the reason stores are not carrying physical media anymore. We've talked about this before. It becomes part of the preservation issue we've been talking about, because let's say, for instance, I wanted to watch Dogma. Dogma is a great example of this. I can't stream it anywhere. Nobody has the streaming rights to Dogma. Let me rephrase. Nobody has the legal streaming rights to Dogma. It was never been released legally, officially anywhere for people to stream. It's never been released on 4K or in Blu-ray. It's only been released in DVDs. Those DVDs sell for crazy prices on the secondary market because there's a scarcity to it, because it's only come out on DVD, DVD release a couple different times. Like I have my DVD copies of Dogma. I will never get rid of them because I'll never be able to find another way to get those movies until Harvey Weinstein's dead, and then someone else has the rights to it. And maybe Kevin Smith can, we celebrate, and then maybe Kevin Smith can buy his rights back to his movie for a decent amount of money.
Well, his brothers might still be alive at that point too, but I mean,
that's problematic.
Have everybody heard much about the brother? Did he do some weird shit too, or is it
not
just
that
Harvey?
I know of?
Or is it probably under the thing and no one really knows? But I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't even know his brother's name off the top of my head.
I don't
it's always Harvey.
But the point is, digital is awful convenient. We've talked about it on the show before. But the thing we need to keep in mind for digital is you're not purchasing a copy of the movie. You're purchasing a license for the movie. So if your vendor, let's say you go through the Apple iTunes store, loses the license to stream, let's say Titanic, your license is no longer valid. You can't stream Titanic anymore because it doesn't exist in the iTunes store. This is me just wildly speculating and making up examples. This is not necessarily something that happened in real life.
I mean, it's also an issue for video games as well.
Yeah, we've seen it with video games. We saw it almost happen with Sony, where they lost the license for a bunch of Discovery content that people had bought on PS3 without the realization that, oh yeah, when you buy digital movies, it's just a license to do so.
And I don't think that was Sony's fault for that. That was the original people who own the rights to it that were pulling it.
I don't recall who did what to whom, but I know they've got the licensing extended for a while. But that's the problem we run into, is that if I buy a disc, I own that disc forever until the disc rots and no longer works. If I buy a digital movie, the way digital works now is I own a license. It's not like it gives me a copy of that movie for me to download and put on a hard drive. Now, go back to some of the early days of these digital things. Like when I bought Iron Man, it gave me a digital copy that I could download and store somewhere local.
What?
I mean, it wasn't a great one. I still had the copy of it from when I did, and I threw it on my Plex server just for shits and giggles. And it was like a low quality, like sub 480p, 480p, like stereo 2-track version of Iron Man. I was like, oh, this sucks. But I owned the digital copy. I legit owned it. It was something I could put on my computer. That's not what we see with digital movies anymore. And I kind of wish we could see that stance so that I could, buy a movie digitally and then throw it on my Plex server so I can watch it whenever I want.
So
that would be cool.
So Chris, let's see if you remember this, because I don't remember. I think I remember. No, I don't remember at the time. Do you remember disposable DVDs?
Yes.
What was that all about? I'm glad that failed hard.
So you know what the original reasoning was for disposable DVDs?
Well, I mean, like, what was that all about? I guess technically, not like what was that that. Yeah, it's just. Go ahead.
So the real original reason for disposable DVDs was for sending screener copies of stuff out to reviewers and things like that, because you could send them a disc that, for lack of a better term, would self-destruct in, say, a week. So that then you wouldn't have to worry about it getting leaked near as easily, and screeners are done differently nowadays. People just log into a website and stream it that way. But back in the day, it was you were sent a disc through the mail, or it was sent to you via FedEx or whatnot. But regardless, you were given a disc to watch something. It was marked as a screener and stuff like that. And then those discs just floated around out there. Those were designed in part so that those discs would go away. And then I think they tried to commercialize it with kind of a weird riff on rental, which is you could rent a movie and you could have the disc and not have to return it because it would self-destruct or some random shit like that. I honestly don't remember because I never personally experienced one of those self-destructing discs.
I will say, if you want to learn more about the disposable DVDs that did come out, there's a YouTube channel called Technology Connections. I highly recommend it, just for a lot of, just in general, but he does do a video on that as well. That is very interesting. Highly recommend Technology Connections.
Okay. I think you've recommended them before on here.
Super wholesome guy. Super fucking wholesome.
But yeah, I agree with something that V said in the chat, which is that there needs to be a shift in the way digital ownership works. But we're never going to see that because the model, the way it is now, works best for them. And I think
it's going to be greedy.
We at least made some progress with having the whole movies anywhere thing, so that if I redeem movies from some studios on one service, it then links to all of my other services. So for instance, I think it's Paramount and Lionsgate are not part of Movies Anywhere. But say I bought a Warner Brothers movie and I redeemed the digital code, any of the other digital storefronts that I'm linked to, so say iTunes, Microsoft, YouTube, things like that, the movie is then available to me on those services as well, which makes it a good way to price shop for cheaper digital content. It only works on movies, not TV shows. That's one of the caveats, however.
That's fair.
I like movies anywhere a lot. I use it a lot. And in fact, most of what I do now is the vast majority of stuff I buy physically, and then I redeem the code. The problem we're going to run into, and this is going to be my fuck you Warner Brothers moment of the day here, is most of these codes have a date in which they're good for through this date, and they'll redeem fine after that. Warner Brothers, once it expires, even if it's by like a day, and you're like, I just bought this, it's advertised as having a digital code. They're like, yep, it's expired. We're not going to give you a new digital code.
Yeah, so I have something on that. So I bought Ted 2, and it came in a bundle pack of Ted 2, and a third movie, Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
I was wondering, why is Flash Gordon part of it? Because I haven't seen Ted at the time, and then when I watched Ted, it made sense. And then so when I got those Blu-rays and was trying to redeem the digital copies, Ted and Ted 2 didn't work. It just didn't work. Flash Gordon did. Why?
Well, did you reach out to, were those Warner Brothers movies?
I don't even know. It's still up on my shelf. I did it a lot. It was years ago I did this, and I was just annoyed with it and just didn't care.
So what I found is that
the disc,
as long as it's not Warner Brothers, if you reach out to customer support, generally they'll give you a fresh code. If you can be like, look, I bought this movie, it didn't work. And generally they give you a new one. Warner Brothers basically is like, nope, because I bought The Batman on Blu-ray on one of the Amazon sales for like $30. And it's like, oh, it comes with a digital copy. I was like, sweet, I'm going to redeem that digital copy. It had been expired for 6 months. And I went, well, that's normally not a problem for these other ones. Tried to redeem. I was like, no, it's expired. I emailed them and they said, no, the code's expired. I'm like, I just bought this from Amazon like 2 days ago. What do you mean the code's expired? They go, well, you need to check on the packaging to see when the code expires. We don't issue codes for expired codes. And I was like, oh, F you. And I guess what I found out now, well, it's marked on there that's good till a certain date, is for Warner Brothers
on the paper.
No, it's marked on the packaging of the Blu-ray as well, supposedly.
Well, they need to have that upset in front of when you buy it new.
Right. So what I did find out is that in most cases, digital codes are good for a year on Blu-rays from the date that the movie is released physically, and 2 years on 4K Blu-rays. After that period, the codes will expire for Warner, and Warner will not issue you a new code.
Why?
Because they suck.
There's no reason to have it.
I agree.
Reason, guys.
Come
on. You're just being greedy at this point, and we're calling you out on it.
Well, I mean, we're talking about Warner Brothers. Come on.
And movie studios in general, we can probably safely say that.
But I will say this. Other studios, I've had no issue be like, hey, I just bought this and the code's expired, and they send me a new code. Or it doesn't even matter. I think there was one thing I redeemed. The code had been expired for 4 years. It's something I forgot to redeem, and I was cleaning up my discs like, oh, I should redeem this. And I redeemed it with no problem whatsoever. And the code had been expired for like 4 years. Why the codes expire is beyond me.
Like the digital is such a good idea, but then they just have to pull the bullshittery on it. And I don't understand. It's such a good idea. We could just have goodness. We can have goodness in the world, but no, you choose to be like that.
It's fine to do digital so long as you understand the fact that ownership does not exist in the digital market. But
listen, I don't care about ownership. I just want to see the shit I have.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
I know. But the point is, most people don't understand the fact that because I bought a movie from iTunes doesn't mean that I will have the rights to it for the rest of my life. And then we get into another murky period of, okay, I buy a bunch of movies, I die, and I will all of my movies to Willie. Those licenses, I don't think technically extend beyond the purchaser direct. So the real question then is, who owns those movies? I mean, I log into the account potentially, but
yeah, I thought about that. Like, yeah, can I will out my digital fucking code and shit, or not code, but my digital username and password and stuff to this thing, to all these things.
In theory, you could do that, is my understanding. But the question then becomes and I'm not picking on Apple. I'm just using them arbitrarily. Say Apple finds out Willie Nelson is dead, but someone is still accessing Willie Nelson's account. Our Willie Nelson, not the musician. Does Apple pull the plug on that account because Willie Nelson is dead, but someone is accessing Willie Nelson's account?
He died by suplexing.
He died doing what he loved.
Suplexing motherfuckers. I'm sorry.
V appears to be more knowledgeable on this than I am, stating those licenses are non-transferable. However, a good lawyer could argue just what Willie says. You can will your account to someone. But the question is there something in the terms and conditions or the terms of services for your account that basically means they can pull the plug on it when you don't exist anymore? And
it's
I don't
going
know
to be a problem. That will be a problem at some point. That will be addressed. It's not going to probably be anytime soon. 10 years.
Probably. I mean, we're probably seeing it on a smaller scale. It's just it's not happening enough for it to bubble up to be talked about because there are technology savvy people in the older generation who have probably bought a bunch of digital stuff and willed that to their family.
So what's our parents' excuses?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have access to my dad's digital library if I wanted it.
Well, I meant the technology savvy thing. Like there are people who are your age that are technology savvy. What's your excuse?
My father has a gaming PC that can do laps around mine, and he has hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours into an Assassin's Creed game before he's done playing it.
And I salute the man for it.
My dad is a very technology savvy guy.
What's your mom's excuse?
My dad's there to do it, so she doesn't have to.
That's what my mom says. I'm here. God damn it.
All right. On that note, I'm looking at the time. We are about an hour and 20 minutes into things. We did a good job, just the two of us bullshitting and going back and forth. That being said, it is time for us to start wrapping things up. And how do we do that on this show? Well, we do it with a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you fine folks who are watching live or listening at a later date, just the geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into so that, hey, we can share them with you, potentially get your interest in it. I just wish I had some exciting stuff to talk about because I haven't really been getting into a ton of stuff because, I just got done with my massive vacation that I was on for like 2.5 weeks, and I had to go back to work this week, and I'm just getting used to, having to live a regular life again that doesn't consist of wake up, watch movies, play video games, do whatever I want. Sorry?
Put on a little makeup?
Put on a little makeup. Only if I have to be on a call with someone.
I was going with the song. But
no, I got you. So I wish I could say I've been getting into a ton of stuff, but I haven't. I played a little bit more of Last of Us on my PS5, the remastered edition. I've been having fun with that. I've been watching a bunch of random stuff on Netflix and on YouTube. Sorry?
Which Last of Us?
Part 1. Part 2 is not out yet on PS5, the remaster edition. That comes out like next week, I think.
I mean, I played it. I'm not really caring about the remastered.
I've never played it, so that's why
I'm not angry that it's coming out. I'm just saying for me, I probably won't get it because I played through it. It's a great game. It's fun.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Just making sure. How far in are you?
I mean, I have just met Ellie and just escaped from Boston, so I'm very early on.
Oh, so you got out of Boston?
I am getting out of Boston. Let me rephrase. I haven't gotten out yet. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Like I said last week, if you've watched the TV show, you know where the movie's going because I'm only that far in, but I'm like, oh yeah, this is a pretty faithful adaptation of the game. What I saw on TV, it seems like.
Oh yeah, except for I will say, I do have my issues with the Billstown episode. I'm not being a dick saying not being anti anything with that. It's just the storytelling. I think would have been better if they stuck closer to what the game did.
Fair.
That's just all. It was just because it was like, yeah, this is a nice story, but it's not Last of Us. Once again, it's the license that they did a good job with using the license they got. But at this point, it's like, what? It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It was a good story. Just I wanted more Nick Offerman and Pedro Pascal to interact together because I get it. Those two were gold when they were together.
Pedro's gold with just about anyone he interacts with.
All right, but now you're trying to take it away from Nick Offerman. That's it.
No, but those two guys both have chemistry with anyone in a scene. It seems like they can work with anyone. Pedro is the internet's daddy, though. Don't forget.
Okay, can we? I don't want to. Can we just say best friend instead? Like
no.
Like,
the meme
I don't get
is
the
daddy
thing, but why?
The meme is Pedro is daddy.
But why?
Because he's everyone's dad and everything he's on right now.
Oh yeah. Well, when he in what was that show? Narcos. I know he was in that, right?
He was in Narcos, I believe.
Wasn't that about what's his name? The actual
Pablo
guy?
Escobar.
Yeah, wasn't he Pablo Escobar, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen
can't remember.
Narcos.
Yeah, I think he was. I never seen it, so I mean, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm just gonna frown and be like that. So I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's
My
fair.
apologies.
Let's see other stuff I'm getting into. I'm up to date and current with all my professional wrestling stuff I like to watch. You guys know.
Oh, you're up called date the suplexing?
I like me some AEW. Yes, I'm all about the suplex. And you missed it. I'll see if I can find the gift to send you of a guy that got suplexed 3 times down the entrance ramp. Rolling German suplexes. You'd liked it.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. That takes work from both guys to do that. Like,
Rolling Germans. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah.
Oh, there was one time in a drunken wrestling match where somebody was coming in like for a tackle, and I was like, let me see if I can do this. I let him tackle me, and then once my back hit the ground, I kept rolling and pushed him up with my leg over me, flipped over, and then I kept with the motion and rolled back over top of my own neck and landed back on top of him. I was like, did that just work? Did that just happen? Holy, like, screw this rest of this. That was amazing. I'm done. I just won that. Just for that alone, that was fun. I didn't think my body could do that. I mean, being a elongated person, it's a little hard to flip from the ground backwards. Oh, I don't know how that happened. That momentum was just carrying.
All right, Willie, I got you covered here. You want to see some rolling German suplexes?
Yeah, ooh, nice. Oh, yeah, I see what they're doing. Oh, man, my neck is... Oh, man, that toss, too. That was... Kudos to the athleticism in that performance.
For those unfamiliar, the GIF I shared was Konosuke Takeshita giving 3 rolling German suplexes to one Darby Allin.
Was he known as someone else in WWF? Because I know some of them.
No, Darby Allin's never been in WWF.
Okay, I'm just making sure because I know sometimes people were like John Moxley was
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. That's right. I'm mixing them all up in my head.
Adam Copeland was Edge.
Which,
Christian Cage was Christian.
I mean, I don't know if I like Edge as a person or Adam Copeland as a person.
I don't know enough about him to.
The whole Matt Hardy Lita thing from back in the day. That whole issue.
Yeah, I know that. Evidently, they've buried the hatchet at least. So
yeah, that's fair. But me judging you on that, you can't. I mean, yeah, because everyone's involved. But me looking at the outside in is just like.
Bear in mind that was also over 20 years ago at this point in time. People have likely grown up to some extent too.
That is also more fair. I wouldn't hate the person. He probably seems like an enjoyable guy. I'm talking about Adam Copeland, of course. Like Matt Hardy always looks like a nice, enjoyable guy.
Yeah, but
Lita, I don't know anything about her.
Willie, you should be getting prepped. They were in North Carolina for
the Hardy Brothers are from North Carolina. What are you talking about?
And no, AEW was there, and their pay-per-view in March, I believe it is. Revolution is in Greensboro. It is Sting's very last match.
You told me. I remember. Oh, that's stuck in memory.
You could be going to go see the Stinger one last time.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the Stinger.
Well, it sounds to me like you need to get tickets for AEW Revolution so you can go see Sting's final match.
Because I don't think I ever saw a live WCW thing. I've only seen live WWF like a handful of times because when they've come to Greensboro, the Greensboro Coliseum, I've been there. I was there at the very first ever Inferno match between Kane and Undertaker. And even like, I wasn't like nosebleeds, but I could still feel the heat. Every time they slammed down, the flames rose. You could feel the heat in your eyeballs.
Yeah, Willie.
Like, oh, I feel the heat.
Yeah, 2024 AEW Revolution is their first pay-per-view in Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Which is literally right down the road from me, to be honest. I'm like right by it.
Now, I don't know what kind of tickets are left because, it's Sting's final match, but...
Like, I think it's on Gate City Boulevard, the Coliseum is, which... I literally take 2 streets and I'm there, which used to be called High Point Road, but now it's called Gate
if
City
you decide
Boulevard.
You want to go, there are seats remaining in the upper deck for $25.
Wait, can I give a high five as he goes through the rafters? Does he?
I don't think he's going to be doing that. Damn. Now, if you want floor level seats, You can get a platinum seat for $2,000 a seat.
Oh, let me just pull up my
Platinum card.
Yeah, let me just pull up my pajamas of Insta Lunch Noodles. I love these pajamas. They're the Insta Ramen.
I assume it's
thing.
because somebody purchased those and is reselling them on Ticketmaster, to be honest.
Let's not get started on Ticketmaster.
I don't disagree. But if you did want to go, you could get decent upper deck tickets, and then you could sneak your way down as it goes, because there's always people that won't show up. You could be there for Sting's final match, Willie. You should do it.
I could be the one to hand him his baseball bat.
That's true. You could hand him his bat.
Or, alternatively, I could be the one to suplex him for the last time.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that privilege.
I think I'm taller than Sting.
Okay, let's get how tall Sting is.
I'm a little curious. I want to say he's like 6 foot or 6'1". That's my guess. He's above average, but hell, I even say I'm on the small side of being tall at 6'4".
Sting, aka Steve Borden, is 6'2".
Oh, right there. I mean, I am taller
Yeah.
than him. I mean, it's more like dut as opposed to dut. But I mean, we look eye to eye.
I haven't seen Sting taking German suplexes though, because he is an older gentleman right now.
I was about to say I'm not gonna. Of course, I wouldn't do it like the full on slam. It'd be like more of a rolling one. Bloop, so we're both okay. I mean, of course, you gotta worry about both people and not just yourself, man.
Something to keep in mind right now is Sting is 64 years old. And
I'm almost 40. What's the deal?
Yeah. He's got a lot of bumps on his bump card, and you don't have many.
So, Chris, I did watch wrestling as a kid. I have a question for you. Did you see like your parents and your parents' friends as like wrestlers? Because I kind of did.
No.
Like my dad had a friend that he reminded me of Macho Man Randy Savage, and like the look, like in the look, he had the beard. They had the beard thing, and he looked like him. I mean, yeah. And my dad also had a giant friend too. I always saw as Andre the Giant. Like it was like they look closely to these people. Like the guy who looked like Macho Man Randy Savage. Like I know I was a kid and probably just putting it onto it, but it was there. Like my uncle, he always kind of looked like Sting to me, the blonde hair Sting, because he did have that similar physique and stuff too. Because he was also kind of a built dude. And he was also had that slimmer frame like Sting had. So just kind of, he always reminded me of Sting. Even today, I still see it.
That's fair. I don't think I have anything else I've been getting into. I'm sure there's other stuff I'm not thinking of. I don't know. Willie, what you been getting into? I can't think of anything else for me.
Cute things.
Cute things.
Cute things. Go ahead and ask me what cute things.
Willie, what kind of cute things have you been getting into?
This cute thing right here.
Willie, where can I find more about what you're showing on screen that you need to describe for our audio listeners?
The only place I have available right now, which is Rugs by Willie Nelson on Instagram.
You need to describe what you're showing on screen for the audio listeners.
No, I don't. But for you, it's a tiny decorative rug. I mostly made this just for an experiment to see how the top swirl of the ice cream cone that I'm holding rug up. And it came out really well. I was wondering how it would work because, as you see, it's a bunch of multicolors, and I used this yarn that is multicolored to do so. And I was seeing how it came out. And of course, I did keep up with the perspective of the lines going, with the cone. So, you got to be smart with this, man. You can't. It's an experiment, but you got to know. You got to still do it right? So a little happy snow cone. I'm not going to lie. I did find this design. This was once again just for a test for this color part. And I thought it'd be cool. So I did find a design and just freehand it on the board and then did it. And it came out quite nice. I'm not going to lie. New rugs always have this certain chemically clean smell. And I've learned to like it.
So, Willie, let me pose you a hypothetical here. If someone wanted to buy that ice cream cone from you, your proof of concept, or one similar where they gave you different colors they requested, what would you ask for as your fee for that ice cream cone?
For one of this size,
one of that. How big is that? Like about a foot long, basically.
I would say like 13, 14 inches in length, maybe. I didn't actually measure. Like I said, I free-handed it, and it was mostly just for the experiment to see how it would come out. And I think it came out nice.
No, I think I like it.
For one of this size,
I didn't mean to put you on the spot either.
No, you're good. I'm just doing some quick math in my head because I didn't think about selling. This thing is just, once again, it was just for like a little test thing. But like, yeah, I can see someone putting this, up on their wall or something like that. It's a little decorative thing. Off the top of my head, on the spot, about $30-$40 somewhere around there.
Plus shipping.
Oh yeah, definitely plus shipping. But
Okay.
it's because I have no experience in how much shipping is yet.
Fair.
I will say the next rug I'm going to be making is going to be once again a big rug. It's my first and I'm selling that to a buddy in Chicago. It's going to be he wants the one-piece flag, so I'm going to make it for him. And that's going to be my next big piece, and I can't wait to share with all of you guys.
And if you want to find out more, follow his account on Instagram, Rugs by Willie Nelson. Is that what it is?
Yes, I'm not sure if the comma matters or not. It's Rugs, comma, by Willie Nelson. I don't know if the comma really matters on Instagram. So
I don't know. That's what I was looking to see right now. I'm not very knowledgeable about Instagram, so
there's no comma in there, so it's just Rugs by Willie Nelson.
It's just Instagram.com/Rugs by Willie Nelson. Yeah.
It looks like Rugsby by Willie Nelson, but yeah. I don't have quite a lot, but the profile is building of my profile of work. I'm putting more and more out. I've been sick the last week, which kind of stopped me from producing more rugs, but I finally did complete my my mom's two-piece rug set for her bathroom. The one big piece that you can see on there of the just the geometrical circular shapes, like an artistic thing that's on there. She chose the design. I said, "You got it," and I made finally finished up the smaller round rug for front of the toilet. So we got one for the his and her sinks, and then one for the thing, and those came out. Listen, I don't like to, toot my own horn all that much. These rugs that I've been making, I was not expecting them to come out to this quality of what I'm doing to them. Like, I was not expecting them to come out this well. And I don't like to toot my own horn. I wouldn't want to like oversell my abilities for anything, but these are damn good. Like, I'm proud of these. I mean,
as you should be.
I'm proud. Look at this. This came out so well. It is so nice,
it's really
and soft. Oh, it's so nice and soft and thick. Also, I did learn a new technique for the very edges. I learned on doing a rug for my dad, a Dale Earnhardt rug for my dad. Definitely, you want to. I started tripling up on the ends really close, so they're really strong and secure. And it's been working out, and you definitely feel a difference. And I'm learning as I go more and more techniques. Off the top of my head, though. So, yeah.
Instagram.com/Rugs by Willie Nelson.
Wait, they have a .com? I thought it was just mobile.
Yeah, there's a .com.
I never thought about it.
I just went to it on my computer while we were sitting here.
Fair enough. I mean, this is my computer pretty much.
That's fair. Yeah. So, in fact, I think I screen shared it last time. I can't remember, though.
Yay! Thank you.
There you go. Instagram.com/Rugs by Willie Nelson.
Artistically circular designed rug.
Yeah, get some more updates on there.
Oh, I'm working. Like I said, I've been sick this last week. So it's a good thing it's only in the sinuses right now. I'm waiting for it just to plop out and it's just gone.
Well,
but it's just there, imagery. And I'm all right with that.
Lovely imagery.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to just pull off their nose and just get everything out and put it back? Oh, I can breathe clearly now. Oh, no, wait, I can't. Parody!
On that note, we are going to start shutting things down. Before we do that, though, a friendly reminder, we do stream this show live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at www.gonnageek.com/live. If you have bookmarked geeks.live, please update your bookmark to gonnageek.com/live. We do simulcast stream this on a variety of different services, but you are guaranteed to be able to find us if you go to the Gonna Geek live page. And while you're there, you can see all the other live shows on the Gonna Geek Network. And we strongly encourage you guys, go check them out as well. We got a lot of cool content here on the Gonna Geek Network. Before I shut the stream down, Willie, you got any final thoughts for the people?
All right, you're going to regret this. I want to put this out there. If you or you know anyone of your friends or family who are furries, I'm not above making a rug of your fursona. I'm all here for you. I might not be a furry myself. I ain't above that. I'm here for you. In fact, I'm surprised my friends ain't asking for a dick rug.
You might want to rephrase that a little differently by saying I'm not above, because it makes it sound like, not intentionally, I realize, but it makes it sound kind of judgy.
I'm not one of those hoity-toity people who said, "Oh, get away from me, you furries."
Yeah.
I'm not a furry.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I didn't think that's what you meant, but to clarify, Willie's saying he's not one of those people that's going to judge you for a fursona and things like that. Willie just wants to make cool stuff, and that could be cool stuff he could make.
Well, no, I'll judge you. I'll judge you, but I don't. You want a fursona rug? All the more to you. I'll make it. You have it weird? You want it veiny? I got you. I ain't above that. I'll do that for you all day long. I'm your guy.
So there you go. Do you have any other final thoughts?
Listen, have you not seen the furries have a lot of money? I don't mind. I want to get into that. Hold on a second. I want to tap into that market. I don't know why furries have a lot of money, but they do. I imagine it's an expensive lifestyle when it comes to developing one's fursona. Exactly, which I do understand that, and kudos to you actually come up with something like that and getting putting it out there. That's not a small thing to do. I may not be a part of it. I'm just kidding about the whole judging thing from earlier. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, on that note, then, thank you so much, everyone who did join us today, and we will see you all next week. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.